What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today it is Viewer Builds episode 29. We are almost all the way through the year. I didn't do one last week because I was on a cruise, but I did still get submissions, and the theme this week was Sig Sauer. Basically anything Sig Sauer related. We got rifles, we got handguns, and I'm pretty happy with what we got. So thank you guys, and I want to give you guys a hint at next week's theme. I figured since it is the last Friday of the year next week, we should do basically the first theme I did for Viewer Builds this year. So the very first theme I ever did for Viewer Builds episode 1, that was like 6 months ago, it was your first rifle or your favorite rifle. So right here, I have my first rifle. This is a Daniel Defense V5. I've done a lot to it, SBR'd it. This was my first suppressor. It's a Silencer Co. Omega 300. And yeah, that was my first rifle. But my favorite rifle, you guys probably know, has got to be my Scar 16. I've just put a lot of time and money and effort into this gun, and it is definitely my favorite rifle. So that was the first theme we did 6 months ago, and I figured for Viewer Build episode 30, that is the theme. If you want to participate in that, I do need your pictures by next Thursday, like early next Thursday, guys, because it's Christmas Day on the 25th, which is Wednesday, so I don't know how much I'll be able to get done. So yeah, send me your picture by Thursday, a good horizontal picture, high quality, please, and you can send that picture to my email. It is sales@atroxco.com if you want to be in next week's Viewer Build video, and again, the theme is your first rifle or your favorite rifle. And I want to do a quick thing. This is like, not trying to be too preachy, but I want to tell you guys that if you have New Year's resolutions, start them now. Don't start them on New Year's Day, because I think if you wait till New Year's Day to start a goal, you already are in your mind that it's like, oh, I could push it off later. So I just want to say that real fast, because my New Year's resolution for 2024 was to post a YouTube video every single day of the year. And I started that December 13th because I'm like, you know, if it's a worthwhile goal, I need to start right now. There's no reason to wait till January 1st. So I'm telling you that now because it's not January 1st. It is December 20th. So if you have a New Year's resolution that you think is worth doing, start it right now. Because if you're not going to wait, if you're going to wait till January 1st, it's not worth it. And I want to tell you guys mine right now so you know ahead of time. And I've been trying to stay on top of it, but it is so tough working 6 days a week doing daily YouTube videos. My New Year's resolution that I'm starting basically this week, and I've been doing it a little bit recently, is working out a lot more. I want to say 3 to 5 days a week. That's not as much as I'd like to, but I mean, I think it's as much as I could feasibly do while working a full-time job, while doing YouTube full-time. I want to work out 3 to 5 days a week. I still want to run, so I got to do separate running workouts and physical workouts, because I do still do marathons, I do mud runs, and I just want to get physically bigger. Grand Thumb, he's posting a lot of his workout stuff. As far as like what I'm going to be taking, I only want to take creatine and protein and obviously good food. I don't want to take anything else, but you guys are going to see. So this is where I'm at right now. This is December 20th, and I'm hoping December 20th next year. My goal is to get fit. I want to have a six-pack. I want to have good muscles. So that is my goal. Starting it right now. You guys hold me accountable. Again, my New Year's resolution this year was all the YouTube videos, but that is my goal for next year. On a side note, another thing that I wanted to do, but I started this like months ago, was I wanted to give up flavored coffees because I think they're killing me from the inside, and yeah, I wanted to give up flavored coffee. So I am on a point where 99% of what I drink coffee-wise is all black coffee. So black iced coffee, black cold brew coffee. That is 99% of my coffees. Occasionally, and I mean occasionally, I will get like a the cold foam, cold brew from Starbucks with my girlfriend. So those are my goals. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to throw it out there so you guys can hold me accountable. Call me out a year from now if I still look like a piece of shit. So with all that being said, here is this week's Viewer Builds. All right, guys, kicking off this week's Viewer Build video, we are starting off with Stefan's gun, and this is a Sig P320 Spectre Comp. I think these are really cool, and every time one comes to the store, I really want to buy it, but it's like the same price as a lot of rifles I want. So it's kind of a tough decision, but they are really cool. I've got to play with them. I haven't got to shoot one yet. And looking at his here, I'm going to go through his list. It's got a Trijicon RMR, it's got a Surefire X300, and then a gas pedal thumb rest. He says, bought it to conceal carry. Nope, I'm only 5'9", and it's too big of a gun to conceal. So I bought a Tier 1 concealed outside the waistband holster with level 2 retention to open carry. And yeah, that thing is sweet. I like the setup. I like the gray and gold accents. I like Sig's gray in general because I have like their Virtus, but yeah, that handgun is just really nice. So thank you for sharing that one, Stefan. This next one comes from Darren, and looks like we got an MCX build here. So it started out as the 11.5-inch 5.56 MCX conversion kit, but I was able to find a 9-inch 300 blackout barrel, and I swapped it. So from tip to butt, the suppressor is a Buck 30 by Banish. It's a 30 cal can. It's got a Reardon R2S 5/8 by 24 muzzle device. It's got a Sig 9-inch 300 blackout barrel, a Midwest Industries 13.5-inch SP handguard. It's got a Magpul M-Lock MVG vertical grip. It's got a UTG angled index thumb mount M-Lock. That's interesting, I haven't seen that before. It's got Amazon flip-up sights, Amazon rail covers. It's got a Monstrum Ghost red dot and Ghost magnifier. Probably going to change to a Sig Romeo. It's got a Lancer 300 blackout mag. It's got a Palmetto State Armory lower with the Radian safety selector switch. It's got the Sig conversion trigger kit and stock adapter. It's got a Radian Raptor MCX charging handle, a Parker Mountain Machine Kate Moss style stock, and then a Magpul MOE K2 Plus grip. If you know anyone who is selling the 6.75-inch barrel or is able to get the 12-inch SP handguard, I really do appreciate it. Guys, if you can help them out, let me know or comment down below. But yeah, I like that setup. I'm not familiar with that thumb brake at all. I've never seen that, but I'm sure it's nice. So thank you for sharing that one, Darren. This next one comes from William, and this is his Sig P320 Flux Raider. On the slide is a Tactical Development F10 top charging handle. The Flux side rails, they act like a thumb stop. The light is a Goon Beam Short V1. It's got a Tan Acro P2 by Aimpoint, and it's on a B&T mount. The sling is a single point sling from Wiseman Company. It's got 2 17-round mags and 5 30-round mags. I like the FDE color you got going with this. I really want one of these Flux Raiders too. The Legion one looks cool. Like, I'm a big fan of FDE, but I really want that Legion Raider that just came out. So thank you for sharing that one, William. This next one comes from Ryan. Hello, Ryan. We don't get too many Ryans on the viewer builds. And this is a Sig Sauer MPX Copperhead K. So I think this one has a 3.5-inch barrel because they have an MPX K, which is a 4.5, and then I thought the MPX Copperhead was a 3.5. I could be mistaken. This says 4.5, so it's kind of interesting how they did it. But I think one of the main differences between the Copperhead and the K was the K had a 4.5-inch barrel and a longer rail. This one had a fixed barrel and the short monolithic style rail. But yeah, that one obviously is threaded, so we're going to go into the build list here. It does say it has a 4.5-inch barrel. It's got a Dead Air Wolfman suppressor, and it's on a tri-lug mount in the short configuration, waiting for Cat Mob in jail. I am not familiar with the Cat Mob, I'm sorry. It's got a Surefire M340 dual fuel turbo mini Scout Light Pro. It's got an Aimpoint Micro T2 on a Scalarworks Leap mount. It's got an Inledwe Truss adjustable gas plug, a Timney single stage trigger, a B5 pistol grip. It's got a forward control design safety, a Radian charging handle, the Sig Sauer telescoping pistol brace, the Gearhead Works tail hook with no spin adapter. It's got an Edgar Sherman design sling with a copy of a Q Sling Devil I 3D printed. And then I run Federal Syntec 150 grain subs. Those are nice subs to run through there. I use those in a few of my subgun setups, and they are pretty sweet. But yeah, I like your setup a lot. I run a MPX-K myself as a backpack gun, and it's just a really sweet gun. So thank you for sharing that one, Ryan. That's actually funny that both Ryans would carry MPX-Ks. So yeah, thank you again for sharing. These next SIGs come from Yahir. It says, pretty basic builds, but here are my 2 SIG pistols. And I don't see these as basic. I think they're really nice pistols. The first one is a Sig P365X Macro. It's got a Streamlight TLR7 sub light on there. It's got the Holosun SCS carry red dot or green dot, and then it's got an M Carbo flat face trigger. That one looks good. And then you didn't mention, but that's the macro comp. So it does have the built-in comp in the slide, and I like those. My girlfriend runs the XL comp, and it's pretty sweet to shoot. The next one is the Sig P320 AXG Legion, and that one is also a comped gun, which is nice. It's got the Surefire X300 Turbo on there, a Holosun SCS for the 320, and then it's got a Sig Armor Core Kit. I am not familiar with that, so forgive me on that. I assume maybe it's like a trigger upgrade, but that looks like Sig's trigger. It's got the flared magwell. Yeah, other than that, they're just 2 really nice pistols. I want to get a macro to carry one of these days myself. So thank you for sharing that when you're here. All right, next up we have a Christmas tree of SIGs. This comes from Joe, and I'm calling it a Christmas tree. It looks like it for Christmas. So I'm a bit of a Sig fanboy. I have a few guns that aren't pictured, a P365 and a P226 and 22. But yeah, let's check these out. So starting from top to bottom, he has a Sig P365 macro with a chopped grip. And then he didn't mention anything on it, but it looks like it's got a hollow sun, a Streamlight TLR7, and then, or 7 sub, and then a threaded barrel, so that's nice. Next up, we have a P226 SAO Legion. That Legion looks tan for whatever reason. It could be the picture. But he has on that one a Trijicon SRO, a Surefire X300, and a threaded barrel. So comment down below, is that tan or is that gray? Because I can't tell from the picture. It looks like FDE. But that's a really nice one. Next up, we have the P320 Raider. Looks like he's running a Sig Romeo 5 red dot on there. Also running a Sig X300 light, or not Sig, Surefire X300 light. That one looks sweet. Next up, we have a Sig MPX-K, and he did not mention anything on this, but it looks like a suppressed SBR. It looks integrally suppressed because it fits under the rail, but it's kind of like an SD setup. Optic-wise, I think that's a Sig Romeo 5 as well. Surefire X300 on top. It's got the BCM vertical grip. I can't tell what suppressor that is. Then he's got the collapsible stock, which is nice. And then on the left side, he has a Sig MCX 12.5-inch barrel. It's in 5.56. I can't tell the red dot. I'm sorry. Some of them, they all look similar. It looks like an aim point, but I can't read it from here. So, yeah, looks like an aim point on top. I do see a light on the left side of the gun. Suppressor, I can't tell, but I think he sent this in on a viewer build video at one point because I remember the camo job and I remember the silencer co-lower. That one looks sick. I like it a lot. The MCX on the right is a 9-inch 300 blackout. It looks like he's running also a suppressor. I think that is a silencer co. I could be wrong. It looks like their ASR mount. Yeah, looks like a silencer co. Looks like a Surefire light. It's got the Emissary Development handbrake. It looks like a Trijicon ACOG 3x30, I believe, with an RMR on top. And yeah, both of those MCXs look great, and all these SIGs look great. So thank you for sharing those, Joe. And Joe recently started a YouTube channel. It's called modern_muskets, so go check him out. This next one comes from Robert, and this is his EDC Sig. It is a Sig P365X macro comp. It's got a Wilson Combat grip module, a Streamlight TLR7 sub. It's got a Tactical Development 1913 key for the TLR7. I'm not familiar with that, so just like a mounting system for the TLR7 then. It's got the Holosun EPS Carry MRS. It's got a TacRig M3 torque screws for the EPS Carry. It allows for a direct mount. It's got NDZ Performance tri-weave rear slide cover plate, and then an ANR design holster. Nice. It looks good, and I bet it shoots nice. For SIGs, I like the Streamlight TLR7s and the Holosuns. I think they look really good on there. So thank you for sharing that one, Robert. Next up, we have a pretty decked out Sig MPX from P. It's got a lengthy build list. I'm going to go through this. It's a Sig Sauer MPX-K Gen 3 with the Timney trigger, so it came from the factory with the Timney trigger. He's running a Silencer Co. Omega 9K suppressor, a Silencer Co. direct thread adapter, the Sig Sauer M-Lock barricade stop, a Streamlight RM1 with the laser in red. It's got a Magpul M-Lock offset mount, a bicycle tire retention band, a Magpul M-Lock QD sling mount, Railscale's G10 M-Lock matrix rail scale. It's got XS sights. It's the XTI2 45-degree offset backup iron sights with the tritium front and rear. It's got a Magpul RSA Picatinny QD sling mount, a Trijicon ACOG TA31 4x32 red crosshair. It's got the anti-reflection device, the lens flip cap, RMR mount, and then a Trijicon SRO red dot. It's the 5 MOA. That's the most insane optic setup on an MPX. I'm not complaining, that's a lot for the MPX. It's got the Radian Raptor charging handle. It's got the LWRC Ultra Compact grip, a Sig Sauer folding stock adapter, an Aero Precision carbine buffer tube, an SB Tactical SBA3 pistol brace, a Wiseman Company split fix. I'm not familiar with that. It's got the Edgar Sherman design EDS sling in multicam black. It's got the Magpul MS1 MS4 QD 1 to 2 point sling adapter, a Sig Sauer heavy duty push button sling swivel, and then a Neomag Sentry strap in multicam black. And yeah, that thing's pretty insane. So I like it. It looks really cool. It looks like it belongs in a video game. And I'm curious how nice it is to shoot with the ACOG for the 9mm. Because, I mean, you're kind of limited on distance with this, but I'm curious how far you push it out with the ACOG on there. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Pete. It looks insane. This next one comes from Alejandro, and this is a Spear LT 9-inch 300 blackout. It is their home defense / PDW setup. Nice. I want to get a Spear LT. So going through his list here, it's got a Q half Nelson direct thread suppressor, a Cloud Defensive Rain 3.0 Moonshine, and the Moonshines always have the cool colors in case you guys didn't know. It's got an Arasaka light mount, Daniel Defense fixed front sight, a BCM vertical grip, an EOTech XPS 2-0 on a Unity tactical riser. It's got a Magpul M-Bus Pro folding rear sight, a Sig minimalist folding stock, a Lunar Concepts contour sling in multicam, and then not pictured is the Reptilia QD socket for the mount for the sling. Nice, I dig it. I run the same suppressor on my Rattler, and then I'm also running an EOTech on my Sig 300 Blackout MCX2. So very cool. Thank you for sharing that one, Alejandro. All right, guys, these next SIGs come from Drew, and here are the first two firearms I ever purchased back in 2013. The first is a P226 Mark 25 that I still use as my everyday carry gun. A few months after that purchase, I picked up a used P220 in 45 to plink with at the range for when I'm feeling the need to sling 45. Both are enjoyable and smooth to shoot suppressed and unsuppressed. Suppressors shown here are the Silencer Omega 36M on the Mark 25 and the Silencer Hybrid 46 on the P220. I may add suppressor height sights to both in the future. Triggers are both stock. I've considered swapping both out for short reset triggers. I hear they're nice and worth the money. I do too. Says both guns are stock except for the P220 that ship with the aggressive Hogue grips as shown. The seller of the P220 also included the original grips for it. To my knowledge, the P220 is not a West German model after looking up the serial number, but is no doubt a cool gun. I've had a few offers from people asking if I would ever sell it. Lastly, as a bonus, this is what the original recoil spring on the left for my Mark 25 looked like before I swapped it out for the new one on the right 4 months ago. Not bad for well over 11 years of use. And yeah, that's pretty crazy to see the difference in 11 years of shooting versus the new spring. So parts do wear out. I'm also curious if you could just stretch that spring out and make it still usable. I assume you can, but yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing those, Drew. These next SIGs come from Edward, and looks like we got a couple nice handguns here. The first one is a Sig P226 Equinox. It is one of 500 and is an early Sig Sauer custom shop version produced in the late 2020. The slide is different from the one currently produced, with this model featuring a deeply etched Equinox in the upper right part of the slide versus the P226 Elite as they now come. The pistol features the unique Equinox slide design, contrasting nickel-plated controls paired with a black Hogue SLG-10 grip. It's got the X-Ray 3 day and night sights and an SRT trigger. Nice. I've always liked the Equinoxes. They look good, and I know they made these modern Custom Works ones, but they also used to have standard P226 Equinoxes that looked great as well. I've passed on so many chances to buy them, but I should jump on one of these days. The next one is the Sig P365 AXG Legion. It features an alloy macro grip frame with G10 chevron grip panels, optics cut, integral compensated slide design, extended magwell, X-ray night sights, and a Legion Cerakote gray finish. This is the first P365 Legion style pistol. Added to the pistol is a Holosun EPS carry optic and an antimatter wing for recoil mitigation. The version is heavier than the normal P365X macro, coming in at 26 ounces with the magazine. So yeah, thank you for sharing those, Edward, and his YouTube channel is AZ Cactus Tac. I didn't realize that that was the last one, so sorry that I didn't say thank you guys in that, but thank you to everyone that submitted. Those were a lot of great SIGs, and I'm happy with the turnout. Again, if you want to participate in next week's theme, the theme is your first rifle or your favorite rifle. Send the picture to my email. It is sales@atroxco.com. Send me a good horizontal picture, please. And then with your build, describe it from tip to butt. Don't go all over the place because it makes it hard to float in the video. So I want to thank you guys and stay tuned for that video. Remember the New Year's goals, start them now. If you think they're worth it, don't wait till January 1st. So thank you guys.